can go on now, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Very much. Okay. So as I said, today's class is going to be quite fast. Yeah. So talking about media queries and responsiveness. I don't know, did Mr. Daniel explain to you guys how to actually check for responsiveness on your Chrome without having to try to view it on a mobile device, or like more like you can do a make believe of the different mobile sizes on when using your browser. I don't know, did he do that?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, okay, that's no problem. So I'm going to first, okay, I'm seeing conflicts. Though the chorus no earlier on, and doing is saying he did. So please, which do I take?
Yes, he did open it. He opened it before, but he didn't expressly say that this is what he was doing.
Understand what you
He didn't.
mean?
He opened it, but he didn't like show the steps. He just like most people did not, who were not familiar with it, did not know how he achieved it.
Okay. Okay. It can't be a challenge at all. We'll just go over it again because we will need it. So I'll just do a real life practical of that very quickly, and I just hope to try to pay attention to try and follow. So I would save this particular stuff I'm working on. Localhost 5500. I'm using 57. Localhost 500. Okay, so oh, sorry, I was putting it wrong place. Localhost 500. Okay, we can see my screen, right? Can everyone here see my screen, please? Indicate with an emoji, please, if you can't see my,
Yes.
if you can see my. Awesome, awesome. So now to access media responsive screen sizes on your Chrome, it's not rocket science. It's not something very difficult. All you need to do is right click on your browser, right click on that particular project you're working on, just right click. Then you scroll down, you see we have inspect. So what inspect does is that it opens what we call Chrome Dev Tools. That's something we call Chrome Dev Tools. So when you click on inspect, it opens the Chrome Dev Tools for you. Here's my Chrome Dev Tools. Yeah, it can either be by the side or it can be down, depending on if it's your first time of opening this Chrome Dev Tools. There's every tendency that it will be like this. That's at the bottom. There's every tendency to be like this is your first time. But for me, because of how I like to work, I like to have it by the right hand side. I prefer it. I always enjoy it this way. Now, there are multiple items here that you can use to what's the word now? You can use to actually do with your you can make use of in Chrome DevTools. This is the inspect tool. This is the inspect tool. This helps you to inspect elements. Now it's more like you are analyzing each element one after the other. You can actually do that using the inspect tool. So you can actually use the inspect tool to get details of the items. So for example, I can click on this and I hover on this, it places a spotlight on that particular element. And when it places a spotlight, you're at liberty to get information about that particular layout, that particular element. It could be the styling, it could be the HTML, and in more advanced cases, you could now play with some other things that could come up in the structure. Okay, so that's the inspect tool. Then the next tool there is the toggle device. So this particular tool helps you to toggle the device size off. So you can actually be working on Chrome, but you can actually get to a picture. Yes, that's the word. Get to picture how this particular site you are building would look like on different screen sizes. So for example, you can, once you click on this, it automatically takes you to this place where you have the different screen size. So this is mobile S, 320 pixel. This is mobile M, 375 pixel. This is mobile L, 425 pixels. This is tablet, 768 pixels. This is laptop, 1024 pixels. This is 4K 2560 pixels. So this is how it will look like on different sizes. So that is basically how you can actually get to figure out the different sizes from your Chrome browser. So I think I've done justice to further explain what probably Mr. Daniel did the last time you guys he actually mentioned this. No,
Hello, sir. Sorry, please. I don't understand what you just explained. Do you mind if you repeat?
so at what point did you miss it, please? Please, can you explain at what point did you miss it, please? Are you there, Priska?
Um, you were saying something about how to figure out the pages. Then I got lost
How,
around that part.
how what?
How to figure out the different sizes.
Okay, okay. So I was saying that, okay. So I was saying that, but you understand how I was able to pull out this menu down here, right? Where you have these guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I said that this is what we call the device toggle device toolbar. So when you click on this, it helps you to toggle the device sizes. So which means you can actually see sizes, or rather you can, yeah, you can see sizes. You can assume, you can picture how that HTML would look like on a particular screen size without actually having access to the actual screen or the actual device. What this means is that when you click on this is what we call a small phone. It's like basic normal phone. There's also a mobile phone that is not small. This other mobile is a small phone. This is a medium-sized phone, and then this is a large mobile phone. I don't know devices that fall under that range of mobile large phones, but they are basically devices of 428 pixels above and within that range of 428, 425 to 375 pixels. Now, what this gives us is an opportunity to simulate the different screen sizes. That way, we can still achieve um, imagining or picturing how this site would look like on a particular screen size. I don't know if you get it now. Priska, did you get it now? I think your network might be acting up. You might
I'm
have to
sorry. Yes, I did get it. Thank you very much.
okay. So let's just go ahead. I'll just do a quick explanation as to what we're going to try to achieve today, and then I'll just do one thing, and then I'll call it a night. Okay, so we have something we call screen sizes. What I just explained to us, I just showed us earlier, that the screen sizes for different what we call media types, different media types. For example, we have mobile devices, we have iPads and tablets, we We have small screens and laptops. There are small screens that are bigger than iPads. They're not tablets. They're not iPads. And then we have what we call desktops and large screens. That's more like monitors and larger screens like some televisions. Then we have extra large screens, TV, projector, anything extra large. It's not the normal size. So what I'm doing here is what we call breakpoints. So we have 320 to 480 pixel. Any width between this size, any width of a screen or a print within this size is a mobile device, falls under the category of mobile devices. Now, from 481 to 768 is an iPad or a tablet. So let's see how that works here. 768 tablet. Now, 425, 481, 425, yeah, good. So this is a mobile. So when you switch a bit from a mobile a little further, up to 480 pixel, you will have what still falls under a tablet. Now, please note what you have here are suggested sizes, but this is actually the breakpoints that you need to work with to achieve what you need to achieve. Then 7689 to 1024 small screens and laptops, 1025 to 1200. That's desktop large screens. Then 1201 pixel and more. Above that is extra large screens and TV projectors and what have you. Okay, so how does this actually work? The syntax is as simple
At
and as
least I can't see your screen.
are you is anyone else that can't see my screen?
My screen is lagging.
My screen is lagging up to now. Does everyone have the same challenge? Priska, please go ahead. Priska, please go ahead. Priska, your hand up is up. Is there a mistake?
So the mistake, sir.
Okay. Okay. Say that, please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm finding it difficult to comprehend. I don't know the
Okay.
whole of the responsiveness. I'm finding it difficult to comprehend it.
Oh, okay. So what is the bone of what's the basis for confusion? Like what exactly is confusing you?
Where you get that lower bar from, I don't know. Everything, Sha. I don't understand.
So let's go over it again. You said where I got the down bar from, it's confusing
Yes,
you.
yes, yes.
Okay. So let me go over that again. Please try and stay with us. Try and stay with us. Say that you can drop your hand, please. Thank you. So this is it. This is it. This is our workspace. This is our response page, results page, whatever you want to call it. This is where we view what we've done so far. Because this was, I think, so something I did one of the classes we had. And now I want to there's something we call Chrome Dev Tools. Something we call Chrome Dev Tools. So Chrome Dev Tools basically has options whereby you can what's the word now? You can either inspect for basics or for starters, you can either inspect your work done, or you can decide to simulate the different sizes that are possibly attainable in whatever users are going to be using. So for example, you don't know what size, you're not certain of the size that a user will be holding. You don't know what kind of device the person might hold. The person holding a tab, is he going to view this site on a laptop? Is he going to view this site on whatever device? You are not certain of what that device, whatever device the person is going to be using. right? So you can open the Chrome Dev Tools, and that will give you an opportunity to actually be able to manipulate these things. Advanced studies, yeah, you can even use the Chrome Dev Tools to even manipulate network speed. Yeah, you can use it to actually find out, okay, if I throttle the network, how would it look like? More like I try to slow down the network, what would it look like? How would the response be when the network is slow? You can also use that to do lighthouse analysis, where you can actually find out actual analysis about your site, the loading speed, and a few of these things. So there's so much you can do with your Chrome Dev Tools. But for the sake of today and for the sake of the current level, the level we're at the moment, all we're going to be looking at is just inspect and um size and device toggle. That's to toggle the size of the device. Now Chrome is intentional enough, I find a lot of browsers are intentional enough to give us that opportunity to be able to resize the screen. And when we resize the screen in very intelligent ways, we can now intentionally say, okay, fine, we have resized the screen. We can now see and know which of the sizes uh, or what it would look like per size. That's where we were when we're talking about Chrome Dev Tools. So to open the Chrome Dev Tools, you just right click on your page, and there's inspect downstairs, just the last option there, inspect. So when you click on inspect, you have this inspect bar come up soon. Yes, it's up. So that is how we got to this inspect bar. Saida, do you understand to this point, please?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, good. So moving forward, I said earlier that this first selector here, this first item here is selector. It selects an element. You select an element in some browsers. I think is it Mozilla or Safari? They write it there as inspector. So what you can use it to do is you can use it to expect an element, get better information and details about that element. So when you select it, it gives you opportunity to, okay, select this element, select this element, select this element, and get more information about that element. Now you might not be so sure as to what element to actually modify, because sometimes the project might be very long and you're not sure what class did you write for this element. You're not sure, you've forgotten, or probably it's a legacy code, or probably it's a project someone else was working on before you took it up. So you can use this inspect tool to actually inspect elements on a page, and then you get further details about that element. You either get details about the element itself, or you can get details about the CSS of that element. So that's that for the inspector. Then the second one is the device toggle. So when you click on this device toggle, it actually allows you to toggle between device sizes. So this is mobile small, mobile medium, mobile large. This is tablet. This is laptop 2024, and this is 4K. That's very large screens, projectors, very big TVs, and all that. So what this actually gives us is an opportunity to actually picture a picture in our head. How would this look like on this screen size? So now, as a front-end developer, your job also includes making sure that whatever you are building looks good on every kind of device that is possible. That's your job. You have to make sure that it looks good on every kind of device. So if I open it with a laptop, I should be able to see it clearly, it looks good on a laptop. I don't care if some things shouldn't be there anymore, but the idea is it just has to look good. One of the most important things about a front-end developer is it has to look good. Sometimes functionality comes almost secondary. Sometimes functionality comes almost secondary to a front-end developer beyond aesthetics and design. So aesthetics and design is a very important tool. That's why you need to understand how to build for responsiveness. So all we are trying to achieve here is to see how we can make the site responsive. Now, when you say a site is responsive, it means that it responds to every print or media width, and it doesn't look awkward, it does not look weird. Now if you observe this particular hello world, if you're observing it, it's actually at the edge of this design. But as the size keeps going down, it's moving, and then all of a sudden it's overlapping this. This does not look good. So there has to always be something we can write, something we can implement, something we can do to make sure that this does not happen anymore. And that is where media query comes into the conversation. As I said, media query is basically you writing CSS again, but for a different screen size. That is totally media query. That's just it. So I'm writing the same CSS. I'm not changing anything. The only difference is, okay, I'm actually changing something. Difference now is if I want something to change, for example, let me write something very quickly. This is laptop size. So I want to write something very quickly. I'm going to explain this syntax, but let me just write it. Media backspace 450 pixel. I say page 1, page 4 text. Page 4 text. Page 4 text. Color. Background. Background blue. Page 4 text. Page 4 text. Background blue. So that H4 text is actually this welcome. It's actually this welcome. Now it's red on this particular part. But now if I keep going down, I'm now toggling this the device size. Toggling the device size. The moment I came to a device that the maximum width is 450 pixel. Now this is 379. 379 is lower than 450 pixel. 440 is less than 450 pixel. So what I've done here is I've said at media, maximum width should, when the maximum width of the media is 450 pixel, H4 text should, the background color should now be blue. So in other words, this is what I'm saying. In some conditions, do this. So what I'm writing when I write media queries, I'm just writing conditions. I'm just writing conditionals. Okay, I want this to happen at so and so screen size. So at so and so screen size, it should happen. This is everything you need to do when it comes to media query. Like this is everything about media query. So I think I've been following the conversations on the group, and I've been hearing very interesting conversations as to length responsiveness. There is nothing more than this in responsiveness. No, so this is now the full syntax for responsiveness. At media, the media type is screen. Now there are basically two kinds of media that are very popular: screen and print. We have screen and we have print. So basically print, as the word just signifies, for printable data. So sometimes you might be working on a system. For example, you are doing a point on sale system, and you want them to be able to print that receipt. Now you can set the width. So on the screen, on the person operating the system would see a certain size of elements of items, but on when they are printing it out, it should also have a different look. So you use print, but screen now, basically, we understand what screen is. Screen now talks about screen, print, there's print media, and then there is screen media. So more often than not, it's screen we'll be using, because how often do people build systems that someone want to modify the print layout or the print styling and all that. So we can have, please let me save this guy, see what it looks like. Color blue. Yeah, everything has changed to blue. And color blue. Everything changes to blue. Change, good. So if I increase this size here, the maximum width is 600 pixels. So watch this angle. This is 509. By the time I take it, once it gets to 600 pixel, it changes. That's because what I've written here is at media screen, when the media is screen, and the maximum width is 600 pixel, undergo this operation. So it doesn't matter what already exists for the body before. When it's at this particular condition has been met, maximum width 600 pixels. So if the maximum width is 600 pixels, now this is it. It is measuring, this operation is going to happen from 0 to 600. That's why we say maximum width. Now, if I say minimum width, it means that if I say minimum width, it means this would happen from 600 upwards. From 600 upwards. So once it's less than 600, it returns to normal, but from 600 upwards, it changes. So that's the difference between maximum width and minimum width. So maximum width basically is from 0 to that particular size at that particular period in time. But minimum width is more like a reverse, it's more like an inverse of it. Now goes from that particular size which are specified up until it meets another breakpoint. So for example, we have at media screen and minimum width is 600 pixel, right? So let me write another breakpoint and I say max width not minimum width, still minimum width 800. Background color. Right, so let's see how this works. So this is 500, this is 600, and this is 800. And if I get in the picture, so the minimum width here is 600. So from 600, the color changes to blue. But the moment it gets to 800, which is the minimum, which is the next range that starts from. So the next breakpoint is a minimum width of 800 pixels, and then it actually implements this solution. So this particular media query can take any styling you want to style. So for example, this p-text that we have, if an offline offset and this and that, all this can be handled here. So all you need to understand and know is this wrapper. This particular thing, I could call it a wrapper. So this is just a wrapper for every styling you want to write. So ladies, I was tempted to say ladies and gentlemen. So ladies, that is it about media query and responsiveness. There's nothing to teach anymore. So if you have any questions, let me take them. If you don't have any, we'll see your task on Monday. So any questions? Florence, go ahead.
Can you please go over the minimum width and maximum width? Because I think media query has minimum width and maximum width. And then if I'm starting with desktop approach, which am I to use? If I'm starting with mobile approach, which am I to use?
Say that again, please. Your last question. If you're starting with what?
If I'm starting from desktop approach, which am I to use minimum width or maximum width? If I'm starting with mobile approach, am I to use minimum width or maximum width?
Okay, so please, I need you to furnish me with some level of understanding. Please, what do you mean by desktop approach and mobile approach, please?
Probably I want to build the website from mobile approach. That means I'm starting. My how would I want to say? Because all I was reading through media query, I came across desktop approach and mobile approach. Mobile approach, probably I'm building from mobile then to desktop. I think that's how I can explain it. From
I think
mobile, my do you get that, Mr. Emmanuel?
I'm going to say something, and if that is not the case, let me know.
Okay,
Let me know. So what you're
all right.
saying is you're building a site and you want to make it look normal on mobile. The medium minimum width and maximum, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Now, basically, when you build on Chrome, in fact, when you build, it is by default set for it doesn't default by default set itself to mobile sizing. By default, it does not. By default, every web page fits itself into a normal desktop size. It never balances itself for mobile at all. So it is your responsibility to now make it look fit into a mobile system, make it look good on mobile. That's your responsibility. Now, the desktop view, you might not necessarily need this minimum width and maximum width on desktop view. You rarely need it. When you are doing a system that is supposed to run on only desktop, you hardly would need this. Hardly would need it because um, basically the system is just flushing out. It's just flushing itself across. But the difference where you would need it a lot of times is when you are coming down. Not like you're not going to need it at all. There are times where you might have to increase either a font size or change a color when it opens on probably a projector. You want to print on a very large TV screen, which is larger than your laptop. Sometimes, yes, you would need this. That is where you now set the minimum width, say minimum width 1200 pixel. So anything from 1200 pixel upwards, it now takes a particular sizing or a particular pattern. It takes a particular whatever it is that you want to change. So media query, see, media query is you just saying for a particular size, between this size to this size, apply this particular style. That is what you are just doing in media query. That's what you are practically telling the system. See, for so and so size, do this. When the size is between this and this, do this. And if you got that,
Yes, I did. But
okay.
this code you wrote for this media query now, you wrote at media screen and minimum width is 800 pixels, and you wrote the styling for it. So if I'm working between I'm coming, let me check those pixels you. Or can you please scroll down so I can see those pixels or
It's
pixel?
800.
Yeah.
800.
Okay, let me say I'm
800.
working between 500 and 800, just for example.
Okay.
Will I write 500 to 800 or what? How am I
No,
to
no.
go about that?
You have minimum width, right? And you have minimum width. So this
Yes.
is 500. This
That,
just becomes 500. That just becomes 500. Or now, or you can do what's the word now? You can do a blend. Do a blend. For example, this is let me take this out. I can say media query screen and now say and again max width 700 pixel, or let me use your number 800 pixel. So what happens is between this like you have now built what is like a range 500 minimum with 500. Basically, we know that the minimum width here is 500 and the maximum width is 500, 800 rather. So what you've done now here is a range between 500 and 800. So this is 500, this is 520, and when it comes down, it goes to white. But this is over 500, 600, 700, 800. So once it stays there, because you have now built like a range between 500 pixel and 800 pixel. But if you are building just for normal desktop, a lot of times you don't need to come and start specifying 1200 between you don't need to start specifying between 0 pixel and let's say for example 1024 pixel. 1024 pixel. This is absolutely not necessary because this is actually the, should I say, the usual size of a lot of laptops. And if you understand what I mean, it's just like you saying that just like you paint a house that is white already, you are going to paint the house white. Doesn't make sense. You only change what you really need to change. That's why you have media query. So if there is a size, for example, you are building and you know that you have to your minimum with, just as we said, mobile devices is 320 pixel to 480 pixel. So we can now say maximum width. This now at this point we'll not be talking about minimum width anymore. We're talking about maximum width because we are talking about 0 to this 0 in this case to 480 pixels. I don't know if you understand me. Do you get the picture now?
yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, I do.
Any further questions, please?
Oh,
No further. Okay, please, please go ahead. Priska, please go ahead. Your hand is up. Or is that a mistake? Ajayi Florence, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry that my question is too much. If
Oh,
I'm building for desktop and mobile at the same time.
okay.
Hello, Mr. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
If I'm building, if I'm building for desktop and mobile at the same time, and I'm so that will be from it will be between different ranges, right? Will I keep writing media queries at this, do this for almost all I'm doing on that website? But for the hero section, I'll write media queries for it. For the next section, I'll write media queries at different midpoints. Is that the way I will do it?
Yes. Yes. But you don't need to consider, you don't really need to pay attention to the desktop size, because the desktop size will be the natural size you are working with already. It's just like saying, as this thing is right now,
Mm-hmm.
let's this is the background I naturally want. This is the background I naturally want. But what is social, by when it now gets to mobile view, something else should be different. So you only write media query when you need to change something at a particular screen size. And if you understand me, so you need to change something at a
Yes, I
particular screen.
understand.
When you need to change at a particular screen size, that's when you write media query.
But for the mobile screen size, the mobile have different screen size. Like now, X Fold is more smaller. Um, Probably like Infinix or iPhone, they're having another screen size. Is it for those screen sizes? I'll keep writing media queries to fit in those screen size.
I don't want to say unfortunately, but fortunately, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Fortunately, yes. You have to write for each of them. So you just pick a screen size that you want to fit in, write your media query, and just once you just write your screen, once you just write this wrapper, you write everything you need for that particular size. Then if there's another size again, you create another wrapper with that size, write all the style you need for that, and that's how you write it to now get it to fit into different screens. But now let me just quickly throw this in. There's something called playing the smart game. Now, at some point, instead of using absolute values, remember what, I don't know if you're in class when we talked about relative and absolute units. Relative units, yeah, absolute
Yes, sir.
units, pixels, rem, em. Now, if you are smart enough, percentage, if you are smart enough, you use more of relative units. Relative units are very exciting to use now, for especially when it comes to font size. So if instead of using 24 pixel as font size, you use like 2 rem or 1 rem, 1 rem, depending on the size of your HTML. Now, once you do that, what it automatically does is that it's checking the size of your HTML. Once the size of your screen changes, the size of your HTML has changed, and it will now pick that size and modify itself. So that's what we call smart writing. You don't have to now write everything, but it still
Okay.
all depends on what you are trying, the problem you are trying to solve. That's just it.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Any further questions? Okay. Uh, let's see a message here. Let's see who's dropping a message here. What is the importance of the wrapper? What's the importance of the wrapper is that you are writing it's more like, how do I put this now? Um, I'm looking for the best way to explain this now. It's just like saying you want to paint a house, and you don't segment the part of that house you want to paint. So you don't segment it. It's just looking for, now I want to paint this one now. I don't know if how many of us, I mean, there's some barbing salons, if you enter, or some houses or whatever it is, discover that different segment of those houses have different kind of painting. So this wrapper basically is you actually segmenting the layouts. The layout, yeah, that was the layout that you want to actually have this styling. That is why this is important. Now, what I have done here is, let me return this something more reasonable. 250 pixels. 500 pixel. Well, I have drawn a partition here that whatever I'm doing here inside this container should only be for devices that the minimum width is 250 pixel and the maximum width of that device is 500 pixel. That's what I've done. I don't know if you understand what I mean. Why that wrapper is important now. So the wrapper is more like segmenting what you actually want to do. If you just write body background color blue, it affects the whole system. It does not pay any particular reference to any particular size. That's why the wrapper is important. Okay, thank you, Saidat. Any further questions? Okay. I think it's safe to say there's no other question. Okay. So I think at this juncture, I would call it a night. Lucy, are you still on the call? Lucy, are you still on the call? Are you still in class? Victory. Victory, are you here? Please, has everyone taken the attendance? Has everyone taken the attendance? The attendance link was posted earlier. I think I'll just repost it quickly. Okay, so please let's fill out the attendance and then I believe that Lucy had earlier explained the assignment that you were giving again. I had to give her some time out of the class time today to actually take some time to explain the task so we can actually get a broader light as to what we are trying to achieve with the task. I think it's safe to call it a night at this point. Barring any questions, have a good night rest, ladies. Thank you.
So it's still recording.
I'm trying to switch it off. I don't know if I can. Why is that I can't? If it's what I can't, because I'm trying to switch it off. Oh, I can't end the recording on this particular account I'm using. The accountability partner for Victory, is she here? Can you reach out to Victory, please? Okay, and that counts.